For 20 years, Executive Pastor at Cornerstone Church, Matthew Hagee, has faithfully shared the Word of God from the pulpit alongside his father, ministering to the people of Cornerstone and preaching the gospel in nations all over the world, both in person and through television.
I have watched my son progress over the months and years, getting better and better and deeper in the Word of God.
He's anointed. I thank God that he's in the position that he's in, that God has called him to the place where he is.
His work for the kingdom has not always been limited to the pulpit either. Like his father, Matthew has a deep passion for music and has recorded albums, both as a solo artist and as tenor for Dove Award-winning quartet Canton Junction. He's authored 2 books and is now working on his 3rd. He has even made his way into the world of television, hosting Hagee Hotline and The Difference alongside his wife Kendall. Matthew Hagee has clearly come a long way, but how did he get here? Born a preacher's boy, Matthew Hagee was no stranger to the pulpit.
From the moment Pastor Hagee and I married, we always discussed the fact that our sons may become ministers because of the history of his own family.
To say that Matthew had big shoes to fill would be an understatement. But even as a young kid, Matthew had heard and accepted the call.
From the time that Matthew could speak, he was going to be a preacher.
I remember 20 years ago when we decided Matt was going to preach his first Sunday sermon. I told him to get his thoughts together, put them on paper, and a week later he came through the door with 30 pages of notes, enough for a small book. I read through those pages, threw 27 in the trash, and gave him back 3. I said, "This is the Word of God. These are opinions." He was angry. He left out, he says he didn't slam the door, but he slammed the door. His face was red, but he went back to his desk, worked another couple of days, and we came out with a sermon. Don't park here.
It is said that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And tonight my son Matthew becomes the 48th as he comes to share the word of the Lord. Matthew, will you come and share with these people what God has given you? That's your God.
Destiny was calling, and at the youthful age of 18, Matthew stepped up to the plate and delivered his first sermon, a message that would ring so true to his own destiny and the decades of countless sermons that lay ahead.
No one ever parks in life without paying a great price. Why? Because life is a way, a road, a thoroughfare, not a parking lot. Don't park, press on, press on, press on.
In the years following, Matthew went on to study at Oral Roberts University, where he became an ordained minister, and then returned to the church his father built to continue the work God had started in him as a teenager.
To stand in a pulpit and open the Word of God, you are now giving people the life-giving truth of the gospel.
Saturday before Sunday, he stays up till 1, 2 a.m. to make sure everything is ready to go. And when I see him on the stage, I just thank God for who he is and who he's been called to be.
There are no words to express the joy and the absolute delight of Matthew's growth and development to carry this church into the next generation.
It's very different than walking up to a platform with a prepared speech about a given topic. It is a moment in which you are changing eternal destinies.
Truly, Matthew is heeding the words from a sermon he himself shared 20 years ago. He is not parked along the side of the road, but instead, like the cowboys from the Old West, is blazing forward along the path that the generations before him have so tirelessly pioneered.
And watching Pastor Matthew mature into the leader that he is today, and knowing that he'll only be growing into the future, is a tremendous blessing, especially for a mom.
20 years spreading the gospel to the 4 corners of the earth.
Everyone in the Bible doing the work of God has a successor. Matthew is the successor here, and he is going to do a spectacular job with managing this massive church in the years to come.
Congratulations, Pastor Matthew Hagee, for 20 years of preaching the gospel.